everybody, and welcome to tonight's ASMR video. I hope that all of you are doing absolutely wonderful. So, to be quite frank, I feel a little out of sorts filming just because I haven't filmed in a little over a month. So, bear with me and please excuse any awkwardness or cringiness to come. But anyways, I wanted to do kind of a book club video, and I want to make this into a monthly thing. So my goal this year is to read 50 books of just like pleasure books. So I read a lot of informational books about business and also just personal growth, but my favorite genre to read just for pleasure and recreation is fiction fantasy, and if you've been with me for a while, that probably is not a surprise. So I want to do monthly videos where I show you what books I've read that month, what I thought about them, and then also show you the books that I'll be reading the following month. Just that way, if you want to, read along with me throughout the month and then kind of follow, I guess, I don't know, maybe that could be kind of fun, maybe, I don't know. So before we get into the video, I do want to quickly show you a little something. So you may be like me, that you have readers for any up-close work, whether it's computer work or reading books. And a couple months ago, a company called TIGN reached out to me and they asked if they could send me 2 pairs of their glasses and if I could just talk about them. They didn't tell me what to say or anything. These are all my own thoughts, but they just asked if they could send these to me. So I'm going to show you the glasses I got from them. So they came in this really, really nice box. And I shall open it. So, as I said, they had me pick out 2 pairs. So, I can't remember the names of them, so I'm going to put them on the screen, and then I'm also going to link them in the description. So, the glasses come in these really nice, the bee suede. I don't know my material names. Really, really soft. So, even if you don't have an actual, glasses case, you can use these just even for chucking in your bag, and it at least protects them from getting scratched. So, we shall open the first pair. So, the first pair, and again I'll put the names on the screen, I really got these with the intention of actually using them as readers. So, I need to fix them with my hair. So, these are the first pairs, and I really liked these ones, and these ones really drew me in because I like larger glasses, larger frames, and I've always wanted a pair with this kind of, I guess it would be like a tortoise type of pattern on them. And because I have brown eyes, I find this kind of warm orangey tone really brings out my eye color. And they have the little embellishments on the side, and they do feel very sturdy. And the nice thing about TIJN is that their frames are very affordable. Again, I'll link everything in the description so you can check out the prices. But I don't think there's anything really higher than maybe 80 or 100. So compared to normal frames that are 1 to 200, not including putting the prescriptive lenses in, it's a really good alternative if you are like me and you actually need readers. So, these glasses aren't cheap. So, this is the first pair. So we'll take them off. And they also have the gold legs. I think it goes really well with the kind of amber brown color scheme. But I really like the shape of these. So those I will be bringing in to actually put my prescriptive lenses in so I can have another pair of readers, because I lose and break mine by the dozen. So the next pair, I got these because I try usually with glasses to stick to very simple things, but I saw these and I thought they were so cool, and I've never seen ones this kind of shape, so what do we think? I know they're a little out there, but I thought they were really cool because they're, what would be an hexagon? No, sorry, octagon. They're octagonal, I don't know, octagon shaped frames. And at first I was like, is that gonna be too much? But because the frames are so thin, they're not very bold like the first pair, I feel like you really could get away with this. And I saw some photos of people wearing this pair and they rocked it. But I got these, you know, if I ever needed it for a cosplay or a costume or anything, and just as an extra set because I really liked how different they were. So again, I can't remember the names of them because I'm very forgetful. I'll put it on the screen along with the prices, and everything will be in the description. TIJN also was kind enough to offer a $5 coupon, so again, I'll put that up on the screen, I'll put it down in the description. I don't make any money off of it. It is not an affiliate code. It is literally just for you to get some money off. So if you need some frames, whether it's for style or you need prescriptive lenses put in them, but you don't want to pay $100 to $200 for frames, check out TRJN. Everything will be in the description. And thank you again to Kathleen and all the other people from the marketing team that I spoke to for sending me these. I absolutely love them. So without further ado, let's get, I don't know what this was, let's get into the video. The first book that I read this month is called To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christa. Yes. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to read the back of the book first and then get into my thoughts. So, I also like the sound of the cover. Princess Lyra is a siren royalty and the most lethal of them all. With the hearts of 17 princes in her collection, she is revered across the sea, until a twist of fate forces her to kill one of her own. To punish her daughter, the Sea Queen transforms Lyra into the one thing sirens loathe most, a human. Robbed of her song, Lyra has until the winter solstice to deliver Prince Elion's heart to the Sea Queen or remain a human forever. The ocean is the only place Prince Elion calls home, even though he is the heir to the most powerful kingdom in the world. Hunting sirens is more than an unsavory hobby, it's his calling. When he rescues a drowning woman in the ocean, she's more than what she appears. She promises to help him find the key to destroying all of sirenkind for good. But can he trust her? And just how many deals will Elion have to broker to eliminate humankind's greatest enemy? So this book retails, at least on the back it's showing, for $14.50 Canadian and $10.99 USD. So this book is, I think, like 380 pages, 42. So it's not too long to read. I think I read this in 4 days. So let's get into my thoughts. So overall, I gave this a 4 out of 5 star rating. I am very picky with my books. Very picky. Like I said, I read a lot of fantasy. So this is a first person point of view book, flipping back and forth between Lyra and Elion. What's something that I really liked about the characters was the kind of sarcastic, dry, witty, insulting humor they had towards each other. Personally, I just felt like that created such a tension, and I hate cliche romances. I hate romance novels. So when romance is incorporated into fiction fantasy, I always appreciate it when it's done in a non-cheesy way. And I really liked how the author wrote the characters and just the banter between the two, the chemistry. You really feel the tension build, and it's just it's so good. If you want a fiction fantasy that has a good romance in it, that's not cheesy, this one's good. Like I said, it's not cringy or cliche. I tend to laugh at a lot of romance books just because they're so predictable, and I mean, this is predictable in a way, but it's not cringy romance. The character development was phenomenal in this. Something that I'm very particular about and very persistent and insistent, I guess, about books is character development, seeing the main characters go through some type of catalytic, I don't know what the word would be, but some type of very dynamic change. Your main characters, if you write or you like literature, you should know that the main characters are supposed to be your most dynamic characters. They're supposed to go through the most change out of any other character in the books or the story. And both Lyra and Elian's just changed towards each other and change as people was just, it was really well written, and I appreciated that. There's actually development. I really liked her writing style. That's another thing I'm very picky about with authors, is I find a lot of them are very choppy. She just has, it's very flowy, and I don't know how else to describe it, except her words are very fluid. It just, one sentence flows into the next, and it never felt that anything or any sentence was out of place. It's just, it flowed. And if you read, you probably understand what I mean when I say that. But it wasn't hard to read, in the sense that I find some authors, the way they write and word things can be kind of confusing. You have to like reread a sentence to make sense of it. So flowy writing style was really good. Lastly, as far as my points that I've written down, I really felt, again, kind of going back to the characters, that she was really able to bring all the characters to life. Well, most of them. That I'll talk about in a second. But I felt like, especially Lyra and Elian, and even some of his crew on the ship, she just really brought out the personalities, and you felt like you were with them there, and you could have talked to them, and you could have built relationships with them. And if you're like me and you read books to escape your head and your thoughts, books like this that you can really fully immerse yourself into and picture yourself being there, it's just, it's wonderful. So it was very, the characters were just really well written, and the personalities were very vibrant. So as far as things I didn't like about the book or would critique, the only thing really that bugged me was I felt they didn't play up the threat of the Sea Queen enough. There weren't many scenes with her in it. I would have liked to hear a little bit more scenes just with her without Lyra or Elian in it, just to build up the tension of how much of a threat she was. I felt like she was a little downplayed, and there could have been a lot more written about her to again really build up the tension of just how powerful she was. But other than that, I really enjoyed this book. The only reason I can't give it 5 out of 5 is because I love Lord of the Rings. I love, my favorite series is, other than Lord of the Rings, is The Young Elites. So I always compare things to that, and again, the only reason I didn't give it 5 out of 5 was because it's well written, it's beautiful, but it's not my favorite series. But it does get a good 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely recommend this. If you're someone that's kind of not really into deep lore fiction fantasy like Lord of the Rings or even like Star Wars or Game of Thrones. This is very easy. It's very light fiction fantasy. It's not like there's a crap ton of mythical creatures in it. It's kind of what I'd say a very tame fiction fantasy. So I really recommend this, especially if you're just kind of getting into that realm or if you just enjoy a good book. So I really like this one. So moving on to the second book that I read. This is called The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. Destroy the dark, take the throne. So I'll read you the back first. Lorelei, powerful enchantress, vengeful, fugitive, and crown princess. She must kill the wicked queen who took both the Ravenspire throne and the life of her father. Irina, the dangerous sorceress, ruthless, manipulator, and poisonous ruler. She must hold the throne, dispatching a dragon-shifting huntsman to cut out Lorelei's heart. But Ravenspire is rotting beneath Irina's dark magic, and the huntsman is at risk of losing his own heart to Lorelei. In this dance of death, there can only be one victor and one queen to rule them all. So, I really like this. I gave this, let me look at my notes, I think 3.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah. So this I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. So, the first point I kind of had was this is a very interesting take on Snow White. Now, it is not a Snow White novel. I wouldn't say it's a revamped Snow White, but it takes themes and concepts from Snow White in a totally different universe and story. What else? Lots of twists and turns. That's what I really liked about it. If you read a lot, you probably will understand what I'm saying when I say that a lot of stories are very predictable. You know, after you've read several books, you feel like you've read them all because they all are very predictable and what's going to happen to the characters and everything. It's just, you know what's coming. But I like that this had a lot of twists and turns and things that you couldn't necessarily predict until it actually happened. So it kept me very interested, and it was one of those things that it would be like 10 o'clock at night when I should be going to bed, and I kept saying to myself, one more chapter. And I really didn't want to put down this book. It really kept me wanting more to see what was going to happen. Similar to To Kill a Kingdom, this is a very readable, it's not a romance novel, but the romance in the novel is very readable. It's not cringy. I actually really liked it. It really tugged on my heartstrings. It was just beautifully written. So as far as things I didn't like about the book, there was not much character development on Lorelei, which there was definitely a little bit, but for a main character, I didn't feel that there was enough where you could look at the beginning and the end and see not a whole new person, but just enough that they grew throughout the story. So I wish that would have been developed like a little bit more. One other point that I had, I don't want to say it just because it kind of spoils the book. So maybe I'll talk about it in my next one if you guys want to read this. But anyways, the other thing that kind of, I felt like the first, 5 chapters of the book were kind of boring, and it was one of those things that I'm like, well, I'm already a few chapters and I might as well finish it. But then kind of when I got to the end of the first third of the book, I was really like, okay, I definitely want to keep reading this. So I will say it has a bit of a slow start and kind of a meh start and setup, but once you get into it, once you get past the first few chapters, it really does start to captivate you. So that's why I gave it 3.5 stars. Very creative storyline, very well written. It's just between the slow start and the lack of character development, and the one thing that I don't want to say because it spoils it. I do really like this. I highly recommend it. And I know, and I feel so bad because I cannot remember who messaged me and her name, because I'm so bad with names. But one of you sent me a message and asked if I had read the rest in the series. So CJ Redwine has created kind of this Ravenspire universe where there's a few other books. They're not a direct series of this, but it's in the same universe. So I'm excited to pick those up and read those. And thank you. I can't remember your name. I feel so bad. But thank you to, who you are, who messaged me about that. I really appreciate the info. But I would 100% recommend this, especially if you love fairy tales, twists on fairy tales, anything like that. It's a really good read. So, my last read of January was this. This is called Sea of Shadows by Kelly Armstrong. This one is a hardcover. So I'll read you the back. Ashen closed her eyes and reached out to the spirits. After a moment, she could feel them pulling at the edge of her consciousness. It wasn't like the gentle pluck of the ancestral spirits. These were harsh, like needle jabs. She repeated the words Island had taught her. I'm here to give you peace. You want peace? No, they wanted revenge. So that's the back. I'll read you the actual sleeve of the book. In the forest of the dead, where the Empire's worst criminals are exiled, twin sisters Moria and Ashen are charged with a dangerous task, for they are the keeper and the seeker, and each year they must quiet the enraged souls of the damned. Only this year, the souls will not be quieted. Ambushed and separated by an ancient evil, the sisters must journey to find each other, sending them far from the only home they've ever known. Accompanied by a stubborn imperial guard and a dashing condemned thief, the girls cross a once emptied wasteland, now filled with reawakened monsters of legend, as they travel to warn the Emperor. But a terrible secret awaits them at the court, one that will alter the balance of their world forever. So, let's talk about this. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. So, for pros about this, I thought it was a very creative storyline, just to do with the whole secret and keeper thing, and the spirits. Just the whole idea of the book was very creative and well thought out. I also really liked how she wrote Ashen and Moria. She really brought their personalities out. I felt that, again, you could really feel like they were real people and not just characters on a page. And they have such contrasting personalities that when you're flipping between the chapters of, it's all written in third person point of view, but it flips between chapters about Ashen and about Moria. And it's just, I really liked how she wrote those two characters. As much as I do really like how she wrote the characters, there was, again, a lacking of character development. There was a little bit, but apparently this is a series, which I didn't know, just because there's nothing on the back that indicates it, but I looked it up and this is a trilogy, so I already ordered the next 2 books. But so I'm hoping that there's obviously more character development into the series. So I'm kind of holding off my critique on that just to see that. But yeah, I will say there was a bit of a choppy writing style. I didn't find it as flowy and fluid as, Alexandra Christo or even CJ Redwine. It was a little choppy. I felt like some sentences, they were just kind of placed a little awkwardly. I felt also there was a lot of repetition in use of words, like there was a lot of I ought to do this and you ought to do this, where it just became kind of annoying to read. And there's also a lot of like when someone's saying a sentence and then it's like ... because they can't finish it. There was a lot of that, or like with a dash, it just became, again, kind of annoying to read because it was overkill. And in my opinion, things like that, they can really add tension and effect to your writing if they're used sparingly and accordingly. but when you're using them constantly, it kind of loses its effect. So that just became a little annoying. But again, that's very nitpicky. I'm very picky with writing style. Yeah, it definitely does keep you on your toes. That is the one thing that I liked about this. That not that it was a suspense novel, but you never knew quite what was going to happen. I didn't find that it was overly predictable. Like, I wasn't predicting the end, mainly because I didn't know it was a series. But it kept me on my toes. Again, it was one of those things I kept wanting to read a chapter to figure out what happened, which I really appreciate, not knowing what happens in books before reading them. I like when authors don't make everything very predictable. So yeah, that's kind of, I do like this book. I would recommend it, but if I had to recommend one book out of these three, I would definitely recommend To Kill a Kingdom. That was by far my favorite. I still really like this. I just feel like once I read the rest of the series, I'll probably appreciate this a lot more, but as just a standalone book, I wasn't absolutely in love with it. I enjoyed reading it. I'm glad I read it, but it's not a book that I would pick up to read again. So that is that. Now, I do want to show what books I am planning on reading for next month. So if you would like to join in on this whole book club thing with me, even if you just read one of the books, or if you want to read one of the books that I just showed you, or if you're just listening to the sounds, either way. So the book that I already started reading yesterday is called 3 Dark Crowns. I really like this so far, and I'm not that far in. So I'll read you the back. In every generation on the island of Fenburn, I suck at pronouncing things. Island of Fenburn, a set of triplets is born. 3 queens, all equal heirs to the throne, and each possessor of a coveted magic. Mirabella is an elemental, able to spark hungry flames or vicious storms at the snap of her fingers. Catherine is a poisoner, one who can ingest the deadliest poisons without so much as a stomachache. Arsenal, a naturalist, is said to have the ability to bloom the reddest rose and control the fiercest lions. But becoming the queen crowned isn't solely a matter of royal birth. Each sister has to fight for it, and it's not just a game of win or lose, it's life or death. The night the sisters turn 16, the battle begins. The last queen standing gets the crown. So this is a series. I think there's 3, maybe 4 books, but I think it's just a trilogy. So like I said, I haven't finished reading this, so I can't give a recommendation. I just wanted to show you what I am going to be reading if you'd like to read it as well. It is $13.50 Canadian, $10.99 USD, and that I got at Kohl's. The other book that I picked up that I'm really, really excited to read is this. It is the Throne of Glass series. I have heard so many good things about this series. My mom absolutely raves about it. I think it's one of her favorite series, and she and I have a very similar taste. But it's a decent sized book, and I think there's maybe 8 books in the series, and there's also a prequel. So I'll read you the back. In a world without magic, an assassin is summoned to the castle. She comes not to kill the vicious king who rules from his throne of glass, but to win her freedom. If she defeats 23 killers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she will be released from prison to serve as the king's champion. Her name is Selena Sardothian. The crown prince will provoke her, the captain of the guard will protect her, and a princess from a faraway land will befriend her. But something evil dwells in the castle, and it's there to kill. When her competitors start dying one by one, Selena's fight for freedom becomes a fight for survival, and a desperate quest to root out the evil before it destroys her world. So I'm really, 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 really excited to read this. But it is a long series, so I kind of left it to read after So the other two books that I'm planning on reading for February is the first book in the Witcher series called The Last Wish. The Last Wish. I watched the TV series on Netflix and I love it so much. Henry Cavill did a wonderful, wonderful job of playing Geralt of Rivia. So, anyways, I wanted to read the series because I knew it was a video game series, but I didn't know it was a book series. But it's gonna take a while to come in because everyone's ordering it. So that's supposed to come in, I think, next week or the week after. And then a book that's coming in on Wednesday, I'm looking up at my calendar because I have it written down, is the second book in the Sea of Shadow series. I just kind of want to read it all as one before kind of jumping around to a lot of different books. So those are the books I'm going to be reading for February, and hopefully squeezing in one more to get a fifth since I only read 3 in January. So 2 other books that I am in the middle of reading but I won't be done for a while are the 5 a.m. Club, which is talking about pretty much how to have a productive morning and healthy habits to get into for success. Because I personally am trying to get into the business world, so I really put an effort into doing a lot of research on personal growth, how to be the most productive I can be every day, how to instill success into my goals, and just all that stuff. So I love books like that. And the other book that I'm reading is called Influence, Science, and Practice, and it talks about, marketing and why people say yes to things, and how deceptive a lot of companies actually are without us realizing it, and even people in our real lives, how people use persuasion techniques that we don't even realize because they're so subtle for us to say yes to things. So I'm really enjoying reading that in the 5 a.m. Club book. But with personal growth and educational books, I like to take time to read them. I take notes with them. Whereas fiction fantasy, I breeze through them because I love them so much. So anyways, I will be sure to put those in a video once I finish them. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought of it. I feel like I was talking really fast throughout it so that my battery doesn't die. But I absolutely love books. I love reading. I love talking about books with people. I love talking about theories. So let me know how you like this. If there's anything you want me to change or add into this series, if you even want this series. I just thought it would be kind of fun to do. And I had been really nervous about filming another video just because I haven't filmed in so long. And I just thought it would be better for me to do more of a rambly, easy-going video so that I didn't feel nervous about being super technical about everything. So it feels really good to be back filming. Really sorry I was gone for so long, but hopefully I'm going to be back in my regular schedule. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here. Feel free to like this. It really helps me out. It helps recommend my video to other people. Feel free to subscribe so you can see more of my face. And as I said in the beginning of the video, if you are looking to getting glasses for style, or you just need to put prescriptive lenses in them, please check out TIJN. They're absolutely wonderful over there, super affordable, and just really great options. So I think I've said all that I can. I think I'm gonna go read some more, so I will see you guys in the next video.